This is part 6 of Data Goes Ballistic. Data reported to the bridge as usual for Red Alert, even though they were still in space dock, and there stood that annoying Worf glaring at him as if to say, "I will tolerate your existence because you are my superior officer, but I would just as soon kill you." Picard appeared from the other turbo lift. "Report, Mr. Worf." "There has been an explosion on Deck 6, Section 19. Security and medical are responding. It's in Dr. Crusher's quarters, sir." Picard started to lose his composure for just an instant, then stoically continued. "Are the fire containment fields working?" "Yes, sir. Fire is extinguished." "I'm going down there. Number 1, you have the bridge." Data seemed calm as he worked at his console, but his mind was racing faster than usual. If the blast had not incinerating everything properly, they would be able to trace his semen from the pseudo-RNA sequence. He would have to remember that for the next time. If they found the sabotage in the instrument, it would also narrow their suspects to him and a few of the engineers. Maybe he had not thought this out well enough. It was not too long that Picard had called a meeting of the senior officers. Data did his best to act surprised when the captain told them that Beverly had been killed in the explosion. "Data, I don't recall ever hearing of a neural stimulator exploding like that before. Do you know of any cases like this?" "Yes, sir. There have been 31 reported cases of drastic neural stimulator malfunction, most of them before the phased overload shunt was incorporated on stardate 25662. However, 9 cases have occurred since then, 6 because of an irregular power supply in the oscillating fizz-buckle manifold, 1 when the vortex inverter..." "Data, I don't need to know exactly why each one exploded. Geordi, do you think this could have been a simple malfunction?" Data listened to Geordi explain to the captain that it would be hard to tell because the instrument had been vaporized.
Duh.
Why did the captain always do that? Oh, the others did it once in a while too, but mostly Picard.
Picard asks me a question. I try to answer it to the best of my ability. After all, I would not want to leave out something important. Picard stops me after about 2 sentences. Well, if he did not want to know the answer, why did he ask the question?
Is there a problem, Commander? Data blinked as his reverie vanished, to be replaced by the conference room and Riker's bellicose expression, and he suddenly realized that his attention had completely slipped away from the discussion. This had never happened before, had it? His memory might be going as well. He felt his face grow bright gold. "I am sorry, sir. I guess I am upset about Dr. Crusher. I'm afraid that I did not hear you." Riker sat back in his chair. "Don't worry, Data. It's game to all of us. The captain ordered you to work with Mr. LaForge on the investigation." "Yes, sir." That Riker was always so hostile. He was always bitching at alien species. It was a miracle nobody had declared war on the Federation because of it.
Hey, the crystalline life form on Valera 3 had. Who knows what Riker had done to them down in the med lab?
Data worked with Geordi the rest of the day, examining what little remained of the neural stimulator, but he pretended he was too upset to get much done. Anyway, there was not much left of the thing. Data's emotion chip automatically accessed a record from an old show, from television.
That blew up real good.
He turned towards a corner and covered his face to mask a smile. Geordi thought he was overwhelmed with grief. "Data, why don't we take a break and 12 forward and..." Chirpity-chirp! One of the med techs had been taking samples nearby. Smith to Commander Riker. Riker here. Sir, we found something unusual. It's an odd kind of pollen. Dr. Crusher had a lot of houseplants, but this doesn't match any of them. In fact, there are no plants of this species on the ship that we can find. We're searching Federation databases now for more information. Good work, Mr. Smith. Report when you've done the search. Riker out. Data lurched out of the room. Geordi felt bad for him. Poor guy, he told Smith. He just got the emotion chip. And now this? Data's mind swirled. Now what was he going to do? Killing Smith would not get him anywhere. The whole medical team already knew about the pollen. Although it's classified, the captain and Riker still had access to the information. It would not take Picard long to find out the species of flower. He hurried to his quarters to destroy all memory cells in the replicator unit. That might work, but how would he explain the destroyed memory cells? And anyway, there was probably a trail of pollen all the way from his quarters to 12 forward and over to Beverly's quarters. Computer. Now wait, he could not be too specific. Telling the computer to destroy pollen would be like a red flag. Remove all dust particles of less than 1/2 millimeter diameter from my cabin. He fiddled with the replicator as the computer started cleaning. There! The replicator memory was as damaged as he could make it without drawing suspicion to himself. Data closed his eyes as the computer ran a small cleaning field over him, removing the dust from the room. The sensation was somewhat pleasant. He left his mind wandering idly. Yes, he would have to take care of Picard next. He did not like the idea, but it was the only way. On impulse, Data removed his communicator, popping it open and studying its inner workings, then disabling just the right circuit. It did not matter. Everybody on board had a spare communicator anyway, so he would not need to raise suspicion by synthesizing a new one. Data daydreamed of Jean-Luc's hard body, his sinewy limbs, and his firm little butt straining against Data's own manhood. Of course, he ended up getting another excruciating hard-on. He opened his eyes and sat up straight. Okay, he had to think about the evidence, getting an idea. He opened a small panel near his groin and started to make modifications.